Since the beginning of our nation, Americans have disagreed. No matter the topic, differences in opinion are sure to arise. But no subject heats up a discussion quite like politics. Polarization has escalated from contradicting beliefs to a fuel for hatred and divide. I believe that through nonpartisan reporting in the media, bipartisanship and respect in the government, and mediated conversation between those of opposing affiliation, individuals can gain an understanding and civil polarization can be achieved. As an aspiring journalist, I hope to improve our country by exposing Americans to reality and corruption that may exist. I feel inclined to help people through my work and open their eyes to the truth. People today are much too focused on pushing their own political party's agenda and moving up in governmental power and influence. As a result, the betterment of society as a whole becomes lost in the mix. As James Madison pointed out in Federalist Paper 10, factions cannot be eliminated, but only controlled. It is our job to limit the inevitable influence of factions and minimize their impact on America. A study by the Pew Research Center found that negative views on both sides have increased significantly since 2014. Republicans and Democrats alike feel that the other party poses a threat to the future of the United States. The media wield great authority over the public, determining what information they're exposed to and how it is presented to them. Social media is especially prevalent, with 70% of Americans using it as their primary news source, according to the Pew Research Center. However, only 10% actually fact-check what they see. Americans fall into selective exposure, as the Research Center also explained, only watching or reading reports by networks that lean in the direction of their respective party. As a result, they are not exposed to opposing views. The negative portrayal of the opposing party transfers over to impressionable voters, leading to increased animosity. There is no reliable, impartial source of information that reports without bias. 68% of Americans get their news from television, which is where most biased reporting resides. People can't just trust the media anymore, and they shouldn't. With the clear influence and power of news media, the sway reporters have over the public should be used for good. It was found that Republicans tend to watch Fox News, and Democrats frequent MSNBC for all of their information. Both networks are extremely biased and only fuel their beliefs. Additionally, politicians obviously have a significant impact on the way voters view members of the opposing party. They have the power to shape the opinions of their supporters, leading them to act and think in ways that they believe would receive their leaders' approval. The power of bully pulpit has been exercised by American presidents for centuries, but the term was coined and made famous by Theodore Roosevelt. The Political Dictionary defines it as a public office or position of authority that provides the holder with an opportunity to speak out and be listened to in any matter. Today, Twitter is one of the most common platforms used by politicians to speak out and voice their opinions. They spread information, updates, and messages about opposing politicians at a rapid pace, which could prove a blessing or a curse. A prime example would be the Capitol riot. President Trump expressed great upset at his loss, even accusing the newly elected Biden of fraud. His anger intensified that of his supporters, prompting them to storm the Capitol building in support of Trump, and in protest of the election. Clearly, the words of power holders resonate with partisan voters. So by demonstrating respect and bipartisanship, officials can use their weight for the betterment of society. Plus, working together on key issues to come up with a beneficial solution and compromise will diminish the resentment and anger when defeated by the opposing party. This will benefit society and America as a whole. However, no change will come unless a conscious effort is made by voters themselves to better understand one another. But discussions must occur in order for connections to be made. Through carefully mediated conversations and meeting, relations between party members may be improved. They will likely begin to see each other as individuals and form connections by finding a common ground. NPR conducted a study on how conversation could bridge the political divide. After speaking with experts, it was found that the key is to ultimately approach the discussion with the intent to listen with an open mind rather than refute what is being explained. The study also found that Americans are willing to learn how to have such discussions, and believe hatred and hostility would be minimized if they spoke in person. By talking and exchanging beliefs, a respect develops for one another and their perspectives. As hostile polarization looms large, it's important to remember that differing opinions and affiliation are inevitable, and yet beneficial to democracy. The absence of democracy would prove destructive to America, and if we continue on our current path, the future of our nation is in danger. Through impartial media, positive examples by political leaders, and conscientious conversation, the hostility can be improved and civility can be achieved. As individuals, it is our duty to make an effort to create a better future for ourselves and our descendants. If we do not, our country is in peril.